Let me show you a picture of this Christian couple. This is Eli and Kaitlyn Regalado, and he's a pastor. She's his wife. They're from Colorado, and they're in big trouble. And I will tell you more specifics in just a second. But I made a video about them, I think, like a year and a half ago, and I hadn't heard any updates on their story until literally like today. And I'm so excited to share what has happened with them. But basically, that couple, Eli and Kaitlyn, they ran a church called Victorious Grace Church in Colorado. You can't go there because it's online only. Nothing wrong with that, just pointing that out. But then, as they were in the process of running this online only church, they discovered a much more lucrative grift, which is selling Christians a different kind of invisible salvation. And what they started selling, and I'm getting this from the Colorado Securities Commission, is that they started selling crypto to their followers. And this is something that was put out in January of 2024. Like I said, it's been like a year and a half. And check this out. The complaint alleges that Regalado targeted Christian communities in Denver and claimed that God told him directly that investors would become wealthy if they put money into INDXcoin. The Regalados had no experience in cryptocurrency, which was clear when a third-party auditor's report allegedly described their INDXcoin code as unsafe, unsecure, and riddled with serious technical problems. Despite that report, the Regalados allegedly continue to promote INDXcoin as a low-risk, high-profit investment. The complaint alleges that in reality, the INDXcoin was illiquid and practically worthless. Investors lost millions, and the defendants dissipated investor funds to support their lavish lifestyle. Holy crap. So these Christian pastors told their followers to buy a specific kind of crypto and then ran off with the money. And the allegation is that they knew this was a garbage crypto, which I know I'm being redundant right there. But there you go. What is the deal with their lavish lifestyle? According to the securities commissioner, she said that at least $1.3 million went directly to the Regalados, who spent it on a Range Rover, jewelry, luxury handbags, cosmetic dentistry, boat rentals, and snowmobile adventures. Oh, and home renovations and an au pair to take care of their kids because they're off busy grifting. So, INDXcoin and the Kingdom Wealth Exchange, which is the platform where you could buy and sell this crypto, it was all shut down in November of 2023 before the Securities Commission went public with all this. And basically, Eli Regalado urged investors not to panic after everything was shut down. He said, I really believe you're going to see a miracle in very short order. And the miracle never came, but law enforcement officials did. So the question is, how did they pull off this scam? And the thing is, they had a crypto website where they posted about all this stuff for their followers, and it is now offline. The Internet Archive is good. So we could see some of the stuff they posted. And the short answer is, how did they get Christians to give them all this money? They used a lot of big technical words that normies would not understand to get supporters. They also sprinkled in a lot of God talk, and they told people, trust us, we're Christians. Here's a typical example of a post. This is from 2022. Check this out. TikTok, wait on the Lord. Hello, INDXcoin family. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice. Yeah. What else? What does he say? I will remove myself here so you could read this. We were planning on launching tomorrow, but we're waiting on our business number to be issued. Our Singapore legal team, they don't have one of those, informed us we should have the number this week, and then they'll file our exchange paperwork with FinTrack, Financial Transactions and Report Analysis Center. We need this in order to be licensed to launch. And if I'm reading that and I'm a normie who's like, I just want to make money, I might think, okay, these people sound like they know what they're doing. I mean, they have legal people in Singapore. They have acronyms. Maybe I think nothing weird is happening, so I keep giving them my money. There's another update this guy made. This one had a bunch of Bible verses in it. Check this out. Um, this is part of a longer post, but you don't have to be poor anymore. The very first thing the anointing of God is designed to do is break that yoke of poverty in your life. Then a Bible verse. So by design, God has provided a way for you to provide for 3 generations. Most of us are scratching it out and feel fortunate to provide for just one, but that is changing. God is raising up a new generation of believers who are willing to stand in faith and take God at his word. What else? I saw a post online from a fellow believer who warned his community about this project, saying the math didn't add up. If you see this, brother, you are right. It doesn't. It's the almost too good to be true news. Whoever that fellow believer is, that dude was right. Sounds too good to be true. It is too good to be true. This is what they are posting on their weird crypto channel. And along the entire path, when they were trying to get people to invest in them, this is one of the charts they used to convince people to give to them. They said, look at this, using historical data, if INDXcoin had been operational in 2019, the following chart shows the value of the coin then, today, and factoring in future predictions of the crypto market. So in 2019, if it was just worth 46 cents, today it would be worth almost $10. And in 2028, it'll be worth $86 and change. Keep in mind, the 2028 number is purely made up. And also this idea that, if we go back in time, this thing was worth way less than it is now. Like, they're making up the beginning and the end and pretending this thing is just up and to the right. The chart is always up and to the right. So this is the way they're just scamming people into all of this. They also issued a white paper, basically the technical pamphlet for why you should invest in them. And this pamphlet was insane as well. Check this out. Like, for example, one of the ways they were saying we're going to market this coin to the Christian market, they said we're going to make sure a lot of people buy this coin because the more people who buy into it, the more it's worth. And they said Christians are the target market. Check this out. With over 2.18 billion Christians spread across over 200 countries around the globe, the Index platform has as one of its specific aims to become the platform of choice for every believer, while also helping inspire and strengthen their spiritual lives. They're literally doing, this is a true story. I once had to write a book proposal. And one of the things they ask you to do in a book proposal is, who's the audience for this book that you're asking us to give you money to write? And every author, I think, knows, you got to make that a really big number somehow. Who's your audience? It's young women who are very interested in dating or something like that. And it's well, there are 1 billion atheists in the world, and I suppose they will all want to read my book. And of course, that's bullshit. But that's the sort of thing that I thought of when I saw what these people are writing. Every Christian in the world is part of our potential untapped market. And that last line, while also helping inspire and strengthen their spiritual lives. How is crypto going to inspire and strengthen your spiritual life? I have no clue. And the thing is, they don't know either. It's just the sort of bullshit they say. But then, just to prove that this is a crypto thing built on that's built on a solid foundation. My favorite thing about this white paper is this right here. They said here's the end of the white paper. They have their operations team starting with Eli, the pastor, and they list a couple, and his wife, sure, she knows a lot about crypto. Some other names. My favorite is if you go down this list. Oh yeah, here we go. Oscar. Just Oscar. He has no last name and it's a pseudonym. He wishes to stay anonymous. That's what I like. If I go to my bank and I'm like, who runs this bank? And they're like, it's Oscar. Don't ask any questions about who he is. I'm not putting my money in that bank. But what do we know about Oscar? He's been active in the IT space for about 30 years and in crypto since 2017, which, by the way, is way too late to get into the crypto game. Like all the people who have made tons of money off of crypto got into it when they were like fetuses. Oscar is one of INDXcoin's lead developers and an integral partner on our operations team, which is a weird thing then that this guy goes by a pseudonym. But wait, it's not just Oscar. There's also Jose, who's also a pseudonym, who's also a lead developer, and he's been writing smartphone apps since 2008. He's been active for 30 years. He brings his skill set to head the development department. Listen, if you have two guys on your development team who are not the pastor and his wife, and they don't even want to put their names on this thing, that's shady. But wait, don't worry. Don't worry. There's also a prophetic team. Because if I go to a bank and I'm thinking about putting my money in this bank, I really hope they have a whole staff of people who are going to pray for my money. Because I can't trust them by themselves. Why put your money in a safe if no one's going to pray for it? There's a prophetic team, and in addition to a bunch of men, they also included this lady, Amanda Earhart. I have no idea who she is, but I love the description. As a performer, singer-songwriter, record producer, and entrepreneur, Amanda has 24 years of writing, performing, and developing talent. That's fine. What the hell does that have to do with crypto? She founded some studio. She created the Find Your Voice Effortlessly program where singers learn how to enhance, protect, and preserve their voice without surgery, vocal rest, damage, or strain. Auto-tune. She helps them use auto-tune. She serves as a prophetic voice for INDXcoin's spiritual intelligence team. Why? Why do you need a spiritual intelligence team for your crypto scam? I want the nerdiest math whiz to run my crypto scheme. These guys are like, we have this Christian lady who does auto-tune for a living, and don't worry, she prays for the crypto. So you're in good hands. I don't even understand the scheme anymore. So anyway, they hyped this crypto for the longest time. And this guy, Eli, he would do these live streams with potential investors, and they didn't go well. Here's an example of like right before they were going to launch. He's like, guys, our network has been shut down. There's not enough people investing to keep it up and running. We don't have finances at this time to keep the servers running. We have a backup of the chain. Don't worry. He says like the platform had to settle for fraction of coin. Is this the end? And then he's trying to calm everyone down, saying, I know it looks bad, but don't worry. Keep giving me your money. It's so bad. And then, after all that, I'm going to show you a video here. In early 2024, after that Securities Commission said, we're filing this lawsuit, Eli Regalado posted a video. He's one of these guys, when he's in trouble, he's just going to post his way through it. And that whole video has been taken down. I literally could not find entire copies of the video, but it was glorious. And I did manage to find half of the video, and I'm going to play a chunk of it for you because you have to see how this guy's responding. Because again, I want to show you this first. This is the statement put out by the Colorado Securities Commission, right? They filed a complaint against alleged crypto fraud scheme. And look what they say at the very bottom. We allege that Mr. Regalado took advantage of the trust and faith of his own Christian community and that he peddled outlandish promises of wealth to them when he sold them essentially worthless cryptocurrencies, said Commissioner Chan. And now this guy is making a video to respond to this. Let me show you what he said. Enjoy this. It's only a minute long. I think there's a couple breaks in it, but check this out.
Let me just come out first and foremost by saying that Kaitlyn and I are being charged in a civil charge from the Colorado Securities and Exchange Commission for basically selling millions of dollars worth of cryptocurrency that is deemed worthless by the state. Now, the reason that they're saying that it's worthless is because there is no exit for people who have bought. So everyone that's watching this, who has put money into this, who wanted to take money out, you've been unable to do that. We launched an exchange. The exchange technology failed. Things went downhill. And from that point forward, we've just been waiting on the Lord literally for a miracle. So the charges are that Kaitlyn and I pocketed $1.3 million. And I just want to come out and say that those charges are true. So there's been $1.3 million that's been taken out of, I think it was a total of $3.4 million. But out of that 1.3, $500,000 went to the IRS, and a few $100,000 went to a home remodel that the Lord told us to do.
That's my favorite part of the whole video. Yes, we did pocket 1.3 million, but you guys, some of it went to the IRS, leaving them with $800,000 by his own math. And he's like, come on, a few $100,000 went to a home remodel that the Lord told us to do. Oh my God. By the way, even if it's a few $100,000, that still leaves you with like $500,000 that you stole from people. I love, he said INDXcoin is being called worthless because investors can't cash out right now. Which, yeah, if you're at a bank, if you're running a bank and no one can get their money, yeah, you got a problem. It is worthless at that point. He did not mention that $290,000 was put into the bank account for his online only church. Why does an online only church need $290,000 in one fell swoop? Like, what type of webcam are you getting at that point? I don't know. But later in the video, this is the part that I can't seem to find online right now. He said, look, every time there's a snag, God's going to take care of everything. It's never about him. It's all just faith-based vibes everywhere. And at one point, he said he even prayed to God, Lord, I don't want to do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't have any experience in this industry. These are direct quotes. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to be caught up in something. And then he just kept doing all this. And then he concluded at the end of the video, either I misheard God or God is still not done with this project. So he just said he was like hoping for a miracle. And so that miracle did not come before that lawsuit was filed, that complaint was filed. And guess what? There hasn't been a miracle ever since. And after all this, one of the other things in the complaint made by the Securities Commission is that the defendants told investors, I want to make sure I say this correctly, defendants, the Regalados told investors that they would tithe and sow in causes that helped widows and orphans. But the payments to widows and orphans were primarily to the Regalados. They didn't help widows and orphans, they were helping themselves. And when that complaint was filed, again, like 18 months ago, this is important. Check out what the Securities Commission wrote. Before the cryptocurrency was shut down, INDXcoin sold for $1.50 each, payable to Eli Regalado's Venmo account, or by wire transfer to some marketing bank account. Which, by the way, if your banker is like, oh yeah, I'll take your money, just to Venmo it to me, don't put it in the bank. That's shady. Investors were told that every index coin was worth at least $10. So you're giving me $1.50, but it's worth 10, according to the lawsuit, and that there were 30 million coins in circulation, meaning the company should have had $300 million backing the coin up in case they were all sold. State investigators instead found $30,000. So they were off by like a ginormous factor. And they were lying to people about how much money these coins were actually worth. So listen, like when your pastors tell you to invest in God's kingdom by way of his personal Venmo account, like it should raise a red flag, at least one. So look, I'll get to why this is news today, but like ultimately, this cryptocurrency is just like every other kind of Christian media. It's marketed as an alternative to something the secular world already offers, but it ends up being like a cheap, shitty knockoff, right? Like the people at the top of the pyramid, they reap all the benefits, all thanks to Christians who are even more gullible than they are. So in a way, it's not a surprise. Like this is what churches do too, right? They say invest in God and you'll be rewarded in the long run. Invest in our church, God will reward you for it. Keep praying, keep tithing, keep spreading the word. Things will get better eventually. Now, some people figure out this is all a scam and they walk away before pouring more of their time and life and money into the ministry. And some people do have doubts, but they prefer remaining duped for life because it gives them hope and it gives them a community. And I kind of understand that. And obviously, some people never catch on at all. But the thing that churches do that's valuable is that they're not directly dealing with finances. So when they say God is going to reward you, that could account for anything and it could come in any form. And there's no timeline on it. These people were like, give us your money and we will reward. We have a mathematical calculation for how much this is worth. And you can take out your money whenever. I mean, not now, but eventually, soon. Like these people were so greedy, they didn't stick to the age-old Christian playbook. So instead of selling God, where promises can be over-delivered with no oversight and no accountability, they sold an actual product, and that was their downfall. So over the past year, like I said, I think I talked about this a year and a half ago. So over the past year, this scam has been under a microscope. And what does Eli Regalado do? He keeps posting through it. There are posts on his YouTube channel. Like he made a video last year. I think he's sitting outside a fancy pool, which is not a good place to air any sort of video. But he basically says he didn't do anything wrong. Then he trashes the securities commissioner. And I'm quoting here, "You're a liar, liar, liar. I hope you get back in the office after your holiday and you see this and you see what you've done. Shame on you. You're a crook." That's what he says to the commissioner. And then 2 days later, he made another video where he's like, "You guys, I'm really sorry for my tone in that previous video." So anyway, all of that involved like a bench trial where the securities commissioner is seeking a freeze on all of their assets. And the commissioner wants $3.4 million in restitution. Like the Colorado government securities commissioner person. She's trying to get this money back so that the victims don't lose their life savings. That's what she's trying to do. Now, this trial took place in May of this year, 2025, and they are currently waiting for the judge to rule on that case. Like, will they get their money back? We don't know yet. But that civil trial already happened. I want to repeat, that was a civil trial. The couple would not go to jail for any of that. It's just a matter of whether they can get the money back for the victims. So we're waiting for the judge to rule on that. But as it stands right now, the Regalados cannot sell their garbage coin in Colorado, and they cannot access their own funds in this whole scam. So why am I talking? I know that was a long buildup to all this. Why am I talking about this now? Because yesterday, on Tuesday, guess who else chimed in here? The district attorney for Denver. And the district attorney would only get involved if there was a criminal case in addition to the civil case. And if the Regalados committed crimes, they might go to jail. And guess what the DA just posted? Check this out. Denver grand jury indicts married couple in alleged multi-million-dollar crypto scam. A grand jury heard the evidence and they're like, oh yeah, this couple did some shit. So Denver District Attorney John Walsh announced today that a Denver grand jury has indicted Eli and Kaitlyn Regalado on 40 counts regarding an alleged multi-million-dollar crypto scam. And by the way, this is pretty much the entire press release. It really doesn't say that much other than what I've already told you. But basically, what it says is the grand jury says, yeah, there's good reason to believe this couple committed 40 felony criminal charges of theft, security fraud, and racketeering. Nearly half the charges are theft. They stole money from people, screwed them out of money ranging from like $10,000 to $200,000. And I want to show you one thing in the charging document here. Look at right here, number 29. Let's read through this. This is amazing. Eli and Kaitlyn Regalado made material misstatements to prospective and current investors regarding the investments in INDXcoin, including that the investments were safe and not risky, despite being backed with essentially no assets, that the coins were highly sought after and offered an unparalleled risk to return ratio. None of that's true. that the coins represented an index-based cryptocurrency that tracks and indexes the value of the top 100 cryptocurrencies. Sounds very fancy. It's all bullshit. An index-based investment is understood to mean a portfolio of investments meant to mimic the performance of an index. The defendants represented their coins as an index of the top 100 cryptocurrencies and used technical sounding terms to confuse investors, when in fact the coins were essentially backed by no assets whatsoever, that the index coin was valued between $10 and $16 at purchase. So it's just lying about everything. So here's where we're at. The Regalados are scheduled to appear in court for a bail hearing on Thursday, July 24th. After that, if my understanding of this is correct, they have to enter their plea. I assume they will say not guilty. And then they have an option. Maybe their lawyers will try to negotiate their way out of it. Or like, we'll plead guilty to a couple of these 40 charges, but not all of them. So can we lessen how much punishment they'll get? And then if that doesn't pan out or they don't agree, then there'll be a trial. I don't know how much jail time they face because it depends on which of these charges are going to move forward. I spoke to the Colorado Division of Securities earlier today, and they basically told me even if the two departments work together, these two cases are very separate ones because I was trying to get a handle on the two different cases going on here. One's civil, one's criminal. But that said, the securities commissioner said last year she's going to try and recoup at least some of the investments for the people who got defrauded. If she is able to do that with the civil case in this matter, she would be giving these people far more than the pastors and their promises ever delivered. And if the criminal prosecution lands them in prison, I think their victims would seriously get a sense of justice that they are owed. And I think if I'm the Regalados, I would start putting together my inevitable prison ministry because it sure as hell looks like that's where this is ending up for them. Unless they want to admit, yeah, all right, we fucked everyone over on purpose. We'll plead guilty to that. Please don't put us in jail. That's the other alternative here. So, interesting story. I can't believe I got an update to this one. I was so excited to hear about it.